Just about, yes. I mean, we've done very well. Great start. And that's got to impress Phil Rogers a little bit, give him a bit of a spurt. But don't forget Ryan Mitchell and Rod Lawson in there as well.
I'll give you a little bit of history about this 200 metres breaststroke. When England went to New Zealand in Auckland in 1990, they had a swimmer called Adrian Morehouse. Now, he equalled the world record for the 100, swimming exactly at the same time. Exactly the same time, right down to the 100th of a second, which is quite amazing. Gillingham was the red-hot favourite for the 200 and surprisingly fell right back and finished third. Now, apparently this has bugged him for 4.5 years, and he wants to win this race. And he's got a qualifying time. He's number 3 in the world top 10 over this distance. He's one of the greatest breaststroke swimmers in history.
And Robbie's virtually declared himself the winner, we understand today, talking to the British journos this morning. He said he really liked his chances. This was his race.
Nick Gillingham said he hasn't just been waiting for this for 4 years. He's been waiting for it for all his life. So the pressure's on. It's his last chance. 27 years old. It's his last chance for gold. Let's hope Phil Rogers and co can prevent that happening.
I really do think the key to it is judgment of pace, because we've seen swimmers go out there. Curtis Myden is a classic case. Going out too fast, you've got to judge it to perfection, because if you make a mistake, you're going to get beaten.
And 3 Australians in this field. Hudghton from Scotland in 1. Lawson, 24-year-old Victorian from Glen Iris in 2. Rogers, a 23-year-old South Australian from Modbury in lane 3. Gillingham from England 4. Cleveland from Canada 5. Ryan Mitchell, sensational race this morning, 17 years of age, from Clarence Gardens in South Australia. In lane 7, Michael Mason from Canada and Paul Kent from New Zealand is in lane 8. But the 3 big chances: Rogers in 3, Gillingham 4, and Cleveland in 5. And Rodney Lawson in lane 2. Perhaps, Rob, this is his swan song tonight?
He hasn't said that that's the case, but I have a feeling it may be, because he's the silver medalist from 1990. He'll be keen to match that, or even hopefully improve it tonight. But originally from Yea, up in country Victoria, and they'll all be watching him right now.
And yes, we tipped that this morning. Phil has had a shave of both the face and the head.
We talked about the wax and polish. He's looking pretty good out there, pretty mean. And there's the world record.
Yes, the world record. Mike Barrowman, the amazing American, 2:10.16. That's a real record, isn't it?
Mesdames et messieurs, les finalistes d'épreuve numéro 20, le 200 m brasse. Ladies and gentlemen, the finalists in the men's 200 meters breaststroke. Swimming in lane 1 for Scotland, Neil Hudghton.
Qualifying 2:19.54. Once again, I'll give you personal best times for the next 5 swimmers.
In lane 2, swimming for Australia, Rodney Lawson.
His time, personal best, 2:15.50.
Swimming in lane 3 for Australia, Philip Rogers.
2:13.50.
And doesn't he look relaxed?
In lane 4, swimming for England, Nick Gillingham.
Now his time is 2:11.29, but I emphasize that was a losing time when he got his bronze in the Olympic Games, and there is a difference.
Lane 5 for Canada, John Cleveland.
2:14.96.
In lane 6, swimming for Australia, Ryan Mitchell.
His personal best in the heats this morning, 2:17.44.
Breaking his coach Glenn Berringen's Australian record for 17-year-olds.
Swimming in lane 7 for Canada, Michael Mason.
One of the slower swimmers, 2:19.50.
In lane 8, swimming for New Zealand, Paul Kent.
2:19.7. So purely on time, Nick Gillingham has 2.21 seconds over the rest of the field, and Rogers is in second place.
On time, Gillingham the favourite, but Rogers probably one of the greatest breaststroke racers in the world, and that's what it's all about at the Games. You've got to be able to race.
Yes, and tactically perfect in the 100 breast. He's going for the double. Here's the Commonwealth record holder, Nick Gillingham, fastest qualifier in the heats this morning. They're the 3 big guns: Rogers, Gillingham and Cleveland in 3, 4 and 5.
Take your marks.
Away And Phil Rogers got a very, very good start, the Australian. Also away pretty well was Ryan Mitchell out in lane 6. Nick Gillingham started well. All the big guns have started well. Cleveland's up there. It's a pretty even line across the board, as you can see. But just sitting in front of the moment is probably Nick Gillingham from England ahead of Cleveland and Rogers as they go up the first 50 in this men's 200-metre breaststroke final.
In this race, we're going to give you the splits for Nick Gillingham's Commonwealth record, not the Games record, the Commonwealth record, and that stands at 30.43, and they're just outside that in 30.56, and a very big push off the wall by Gillingham.
Good turn by Gillingham and Cleveland. Rogers coming at him now. He's looking very smooth in his second lap.
Yes, an excellent turn there from Phil Rogers. Got him into second position. Gillingham's in front, the Englishman. Rogers is now hot on his heels in second spot. Cleveland, Canadian, third. Ryan Mitchell's going pretty well. He's probably in fourth spot, the youngster from South Australia. And Rodney Lawson in lane 2 is also going reasonably well. So coming up for the turn of the 100-metre mark, it's Gillingham in front by about half a body length from Rogers. And in third spot is Cleveland.
He goes round in 1:4:09. He's just outside his Commonwealth split of 03.91.
Now, the British coaches said this morning, if Gillingham's in front of the 100, he won't lose. We'll have to wait and see, because Rogers is making his move now.
Phil Rogers is just waiting there, ready to pounce. You can see the TV shot there. Gillingham in front. Rogers hot on his heels, just looking him in the eye. And Cleveland still in third position for Canada. Ryan Mitchell on outside in outright fourth position. Rod Lawson is probably fifth now. So the Aussies trio going very well as they turn to the 150 mark. It's Gillingham still in front. But Rogers is right there. He knows what he's got to do.
He's just behind his Commonwealth record. There's not much in it. It's all in the last 50.
0.3 of a second. Rogers is going to have to move, because Gillingham's a very good finisher.
Gillingham from England in front. Rogers, Australia second. Cleveland, Canada third. Those three gentlemen look like fighting out the medals. We're not sure what colour yet. There's the margin.
Look at the stroke rate of Rogers.
Gillingham in front. Rogers trying to get to the lead. Gillingham still in front. He's managing to control the race at the moment. Rogers finishing strongly, but I think the Englishman's going to hold on. He will, and at long last, Nick Gillingham from England takes the gold medal. Rogers gets the silver. Cleveland the bronze. Ryan Mitchell finishes fourth. Rod Lawson finishes fifth.
Consider my personal best time. That was only 6/100ths outside, so if I got silver, I'm happy.
You are happy, that's great.
Yeah.
Nick Gillingham, pretty tough competitor, but you held him up all that way.
Yeah, I knew he was there, and it was just a race, between the two of us. He had a little bit more legs on the last lap. I'm a classically 100-metre specialist, so it was a good race, though.
Okay, congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
So congratulations.
Well done to Phil Rogers, silver medalist. The other two Aussies also did very, very well. They can hold their heads high, but the gold medal goes to England. We'll take a break. Back with more from Saanich very soon. Let's replay the men's 200 breaststroke. Gillingham, Rogers and Cleveland were the big three guns.
And of course, Gillingham got off to a very good start. Right from the start, it was a race between two. Cleveland kept up there a little bit at the start, but Rogers and Gillingham really cleared away from the pack.
Looking at that start again, Rob, I think that Rogers dwelt too long in the border before he took his first stroke.
He spent a lot of time underwater, that's for sure, no doubt about that. But as we said, Gillingham cleared away. The 50-metre mark, he was narrowly in front. Gillingham, very good turns. Watch his turns coming up here. I think he gains about maybe 2 or 3 feet over the competitors on the turn.
A very big push off the wall there. Look at that, how far he goes. So he was just outside his own Commonwealth record, and he was like that throughout. But really, when you look at the replay of the race again, he's just that little bit in command all the way.
It was technically a perfect race, and tactically a perfect race as well, because he really planned, he stuck to his plan to go out, be about a body length in front, and Rogers could not make any impression on him at all in the second 100, despite a great effort.
Rob, we saw Gillingham, after the race, get on the blocks, punch the air, look at BBC radio. You've got the story. What the reason for that?
Well, he was a little bit aggro. We seem to think he's a little bit aggro. He's had a bit of bad press over the past couple of months in England. And, well, maybe sort of saying, well, I'm up here, I've done it, the gold medal's mine. So.
Now, watching him now, I think that he's changed his technique since he was in Auckland 4.5 years ago. He was a much flatter swimmer through the water. Rogers does the best he can here, and this is about the closest he really ever gets to him.
Yeah, and again, coming up to the turn here, I think Gillingham pulls away on this last turn. Cleveland's out of it by now. It's just Rogers and Gillingham. And coming up from the water, we see it. He's probably increased his distance by about 2 feet there. And from there, Rogers, of course, couldn't make an impression.
And look at him now head on. He doesn't take his eyes off the end of the pool. He's not worried about Rogers. He might be able to see him out of the corner of his eye, but he's concentrating entirely on that end of the pool, and that's where he's going.
As we said, a technically perfect race. Rogers not making any impression here. And we've said before, he's won gold, or so silver and bronze medals at the Olympics, silver medals at the Commonwealth Games. To come into the wall here, he knows the gold's his, and what a relief.
And we've got to mention young Ryan Mitchell from Australia, Rob. Again, a PB. What a fantastic day.
Terrific swim for Ryan Mitchell. 2 personal bests in 2 swims in 1 day.
And Nick Gillingham, in fact, has dedicated this race, hasn't he?
Dedicated this race to his father. Unfortunately, his father tragically passed away earlier in the year. And in the interview after the race, he said, "This one's for you, Dad." So a very touching moment. And it's going to be a very emotional moment at the presentation ceremony coming up.
He's finally got that gold medal that has eluded him.
Well, knowing what they do in England to people who lose, I imagine Fleet Street has been on his back for some time. That might shut them up.
Let's hope he gets the credit that he deserves over the next couple of days in the press in England, because that really is, under pressure, a sensational performance. He was a bit disappointing in the 100. He wanted to win that, but he said straight afterward, the 200 is mine. I've wanted it all my life, and I'm going to take it. And that's exactly what he did.
We can see the carrier of the flags, the apparatus they have, is moving down to the bottom, down to the pool level, so it means the celebration or the ceremony is on the way. Of course, the flag area is right in front of us here. It looks like the young Mounties over there, or it's a ceremonial red uniform, and they do look like trainee Mounties to me.
I tell you, it'll be nice and hot today in that outfit, because it is stinking hot in this pool. It's a very humid day here in Victoria. There's a lot of fans in 2 ways. Fans obviously supporting, but fans being used to cool people down, because it's very, very hot. And I guess, Rob, that will have an effect on the swimmers.
It will have an effect. The heat, they obviously become more dehydrated, which affects them. It may not affect them so much tonight, but tomorrow, unless they fill up with fluid, plenty of water overnight, they might come in feeling fairly tired in the heats tomorrow morning. So we'll have to see how that pans out. But very hot in the pool tonight.
Looking inside that room down there's a cast of thousands down there. The swimmers had to force their way through to get out to the door.
A lot of Nick Gillingham fans there, I'm sure. He's a very popular man in the English team. One of the veterans, 27 years old. He's been around for a long time, and we talked about his career. And it's a fine moment for Nick Gillingham.
Of course, the breaststrokers can go a bit further than other strokes, don't they? They can go right up to their 30 and still be good. They're like spin bowlers, like Shane Warne in the years to come.
And there is young Brooke Hanson beating on a Vegemite tin.
Of course, Brooke, the breaststroker, she'll be very interested in the next event, the women's 100 metres breaststroke, cheering on Sam, Rebecca and Debbie Wade. You see Phil Rogers there, just waiting to come out for the medal presentation.
Just wiping the brow, and we can see away from us to the right. What are they using as fans over there? Just whatever it is, there are hundreds and hundreds of them being used, because once it rains here, it must get sticky hot in this pool. The pool itself, the pool itself is in fact below ground level. We come in on ground level, right up here in the broadcast point. And it's the same over. Oh, it goes down the other side. It must have been built in a gully.
Still 2 events to be decided this evening. Women's 100 breast, going to be a sensational race. 3 Aussies in that. Sam Riley, Rebecca Brown and Debbie Wade. And then it's the men's 4x100 freestyle relay. Mean Machine, Mark 1994.
Something to look forward to, no doubt. And we talk about veterans, Gillingham being a veteran at 27. Ryan Mitchell, what a future he's got. He's only 17 years old. He's broken his own coach's national age group record twice in 1 day. He's got to be one to watch for in Atlanta.
Mesdames et messieurs, la cérémonie de remise des médailles pour le 200m brasse homme. Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the men's 200 meters breaststroke.
I'm sure Nick Gillingham is going to enjoy every single minute of this, no doubt.
And here they come after that. A fairly long delay. We have Phil Rogers leading the parade, the silver medalist, then Nick Gillingham, and finally John Cleveland, the bronze medalist. And the reason for that sequence is that the silver medalist goes to the podium over on the far side, the gold medalist, of course, in the middle, and the bronze medalist this side. That's been a fairly standard procedure in the Commonwealth Games.
Now we've seen the Canadians, John Cleveland now throwing the frisbees in the crowd. Phil Rogers got the boomerangs. Nick Gillingham's got something in his bag. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but he's handing something out there. It's like Santa Claus.
Whatever it is, Robbie's got plenty of them. Canadians like the frisbee.
Saw a few of those frisbees landing in the pool the other day.
I guess as far as his career goes, Rob, he can now rest in peace, Nick Gillingham.
Yeah, if he retires after this, certainly retire with a lot of pride. And the English supporters out in force today. A very successful day yesterday in the pool with 2 gold medals. We've got 1 already today, still 2 events to go. There'll be a chance in that relay.
So the swimmers walking behind the podium area, and we'll stand by now as the presenters follow them in company with a Mountie in uniform. I reckon he's going to do that all night in this sultry heat. Very hot and humid and sticky. He'll be a few kilos lighter by the time the night finishes.
I think we all will, just as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, to present the medals, l'Honorable Michel Dupuis, Minister of Canadian Heritage and Minister responsible for amateur sport for the federal government. Mesdames et messieurs, le médaillé d'or et champion du Commonwealth avec un nouveau record des Jeux. Ladies and gentlemen, the gold medalist and Commonwealth champion, establishing a new Commonwealth Games record. Swimming for England, Nick Gillingham.
Yes, it said the last act crowns all, and Nick Gillingham, at the end of his career, the twilight of his career, has finally broken through for that elusive gold medal.
Well, it's always good to see the Australians stand on top of the medal dice, but, well, you've got to be happy for Nick Gillingham. Very special moment for him. And, of course, as we said, contributing this great win to his father.
The silver medalist swimming for Australia, Philip Rogers.
Well, he can't be unhappy at gold in the 100, silver in the 200, a very fine effort.
And, of course, he still has the medley relay to come in 2 days' time. Maybe another medal there for Philip Rogers.
Le médaillé de bronze, the bronze medalist, swimming for Canada, John Cleveland.
Still up there, receiving medals 4.5 years after his gold in this event in Auckland 1990.
And he swam a faster time today than he did that day in Auckland 4 years ago, where he broke the games record. All 3 swimmers there under the old record. Personal best for John Cleveland and the bronze medal.
Et maintenant, voici la traditionnelle remise des fleurs. And now the traditional presentation of flowers by the Honorable David Anderson, Member of Parliament for Victoria, the Federal Minister of National Revenue for the federal government, and a silver medalist in Rome at the 1960 Olympics and in the 1959 Pan Am Games in Chicago in rowing, the Honorable David Anderson.
I tell you, if I was the federal minister for revenue, nobody else would get too much off me.
We've noticed that in the bar, Norman.
I wonder if we have some English parents here, that Nick's widowed mother may be here, because it's not as far to come, of course, from Australia. It's still a long trip from England across here. We're on the western side of Canada. I suppose it'll take flying time, maybe up towards 11, 12 hours.
Yep, and I'm sure wherever his mum is, she'll be mighty proud.
I believe she is in the stand. All English supporters here will be looking forward to this national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory anthem of England.
From the land of hope and glory, Nick Gillingham, the gold medal, the end of a great swimming career. He goes out as the world top 10, number 3 in time over 100 metres, number 3 in his time over 200 metres, and it'll take a fair while before anybody pushes him out of that top 10.
We'll take a break.